Hello guys, my name is Jamie. Welcome to another video. It's very late. I don't normally start videos at 20 to midnight, but today I am because we're going to be doing a classic 24-hour readathon. This is going to be very like old school vibes, like how I used to do them very back in the day when I first started my channel, where I would start at midnight and go to midnight the next day. But this one is going to be very casual, I think. Like, I'm not going to try and stay up too late, but I mean, if I pulled an all-nighter by accident, absolutely. But it's going to be casual. Like, it's not going to be like, how much can I read? I just want to, you know, try to do a classic 24-hour readathon, but it's really not that deep. But yeah, I'm basically going to be reading for the next 24 hours, trying to read as much as possible. I thought it would be fun to do kind of like a scary theme. Again, like, it's casual. I am a massive scaredy cat, so if I'm getting too scared, especially at nighttime, I will not hesitate to just switch genres really quickly. But if I can do all scary books, that would be kind of a slay. I've picked out 4 books that I would love to get through during this time. First of all, we have What Moves the Dead by T. Kingfisher, which is a horror novella, and I believe there's a lot of kind of like nature magic and a lot of horror when it comes to like the wildlife and the earth, Mother Nature fighting back on humans. And I've read a couple of horrors like that in my time and I really enjoy them and their messages, so I could be very keen to read this. I've heard nothing but good things about T. Kingfisher, and this will be a nice like short one to tide me over between some other kind of maybe longer books. These other 3 are basically just thrillers, but I have Five Survive by Holly Jackson, a YA mystery thriller. I believe it's all told in one night about a group of friends who, I guess, have the night from hell. There is a killer among them, or maybe they're running from a killer, I'm not totally sure. But I love Holly Jackson's writing style. I loved A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, so I feel like this one could be a very fun, spooky time. Definitely the scariest cover, The Perfect Son. There's something about creepy children that really does it for me, really terrifies me. But this is a Freida McFadden book. Usually I only really read Freida McFadden on Kindle Unlimited, but I found this in a secondhand bookshop, luckily enough, and decided to pick it up. So this one, I believe, is actually about like a scary child. I believe we follow the mother, like the main character is the mum of this scary kid. And I don't know, I feel like this will be a really fun time, but also really scary. So maybe I'll wait to read this one like when it's light outside, because this is a bit terrifying sounding. Creepy children, I can't do it. And then of course we have my Patreon book club book for the month, which I will definitely be reading at some stage, and that is The Last Housewife by Ashley Winstead. I meant to read this last week and just unfortunately didn't get around to it, so I feel like tonight's the night. This next 24 hours is the time that I will be diving straight into this one. And this is a thriller about a woman who, I think she's a college graduate, and I think she has to go back to the college she went to kind of like, oh, she's a true crime podcast host maybe, I don't know, but there's like some dodgy stuff that went down in her college, and I think it's all to do with cults. And that could be really fun. These are 4 books I've picked out. Literally staring at them now, I'm like, I don't know, I'm too scared. Like, my dog's in bed, my boyfriend's in bed. It's gonna be me by myself in the dark. I'm actually terrified. I don't know what I'm gonna start with. I think I'm gonna start with Five Survive, because it's YA mystery thriller, so I feel like that will be the most tame in terms of my fear. Although Holly Jackson's a very good writer, some of the A Good Girl's Guide to Murder series was actually terrifying. You know what, Jamie? Be brave. We're going to start with Five Survive. Cool. So it is 1:45 right now. I am going to get set up on the couch, get incredibly cozy. I'm gonna make a coffee because already I'm kind of feeling the tiredness, which is not good. But yeah, I'm gonna make a coffee, get cozy on the couch, maybe light some candles for like full atmosphere vibes, and I will let you know once I've started. Good morning, everyone. So, a 24-hour readathon this is not. I fell asleep on the couch mid-reading. I like woke up with the sun shining in, like on the couch, passed out with the book like on top of my chest like this. So that must have been probably around 1 AM. So I have not been reading for that long at all. So yeah, this is definitely not like a 24-hour readathon. I don't want to get any comments that are like, okay, we're just gonna spend a day reading scary books. That's the plan. It's like 9 in the morning now, so I still have the full day ahead of me, and I'm just gonna spend all day reading scary books, and I feel like that is my vibe today. That's gonna be the trajectory of this video. But yeah, like I said, it's about 9 o'clock. I'm gonna be doing reading sprints with my patrons in a couple of hours, which I'm looking forward to, and I have been reading 5 Survive. So I'm on page 149, but basically we follow our main character Red. She's on a spring break vacation with 5 of her friends, so there are 6 of them, and they're in an RV, and their plan was to like be in this RV to the campsite, like drive there and all that sort of stuff. But then the RV breaks down and there is a man with a rifle outside trying to shoot them, and it's like, one of you has a secret and I'm not letting you get away from here unless you like share with the group what your secret is. And yeah, basically that's the whole thing. They're just trying to stay alive, trying to survive the night and all that sort of stuff. There's 6 characters and the book is called 5 Survive. There's definitely a character that I want to be the one that doesn't, like if we're really thinking about it, and I think he will be the one that doesn't survive. I'm not sure. How am I feeling about the book though? I feel like a little bit underwhelmed, especially considering how much I love A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I'm feeling slightly underwhelmed by this one. Like, it's just not winning me over as much as I thought it would. It's definitely less mystery, more thriller, more like horror, serial killer vibes, and I prefer to have like a little bit of a mystery. Like, obviously it's a mystery in the sense that like we don't know who this lad is, what the secret is, and all that sort of stuff. I don't know. Yeah, I'm just not really feeling it. But that's not to say that it's really, really bad or anything. Like, I'm still enjoying it. It's still a really fast-paced read. But yeah, like the characters haven't won me over or anything like that. Our main character, Red, is a bit weird. Like, she doesn't have the best memory, and we're kind of like, she's the protagonist and she just thinks the most random things sometimes. I don't really know what that's all about, but I do feel really bad for her because she has lost her mum. Like, her mum died kind of, I guess, recently. I'm not sure how recent it is, but she talks about it a lot, and it's like a very like touchy subject for her. So I do feel really bad for her. And there's also like a potential romance with her and another character, and I'm not gonna lie, I do not care about that, and I do not care about the potential romantic love interest. Like, I'm like, yeah, he's boring. But there are some other characters that I really like. I really like a side character called Simon. Like, some of the sense of humor and jokes in here are quite fun, except Simon keeps making "that's what she said" jokes, and it's not the funniest to me. And yeah, there's this one character called Oliver. I hate him so much. He like thinks he's the main character. Anytime someone like says something, he's like, oh yeah, I was just about to say that. Or like if someone like tells him something, like information that he didn't know about something, he'd be like, oh yeah, I know. And I know people like that, and I don't like them. So yeah, not loving Oliver. Anyway, I'm just gonna keep reading. I'll probably still be reading this during my reading sprints with my patrons, but yeah, I definitely feel well rested. So obviously I really, really did need that sleep, which is a very good thing. But yeah, I'm just gonna spend the rest of the day reading scary books. I think I can definitely get through this one really fast. Like, it is just super fast paced. So yeah, I'm like already nearly halfway anyway. It's like 400 pages. I'm at page 150. We're good. We're good. I definitely feel like I can read at least more than like one book, you know, in this video, which I feel good about. And I will still read till midnight tonight as well. Like, even though it's not officially a proper 24-hour readathon, I will still like read till midnight. I'm gonna go keep reading, and I will talk to you soon. Guys, I just finished my Patreon reading sprints. Okay, so I'm at page 284 of 5 Survive, and darling, I'm so sorry for what I said about you earlier. Loving it. Loving it. I'm at the edge of my seat. Like, Holly Jackson, my heart was racing. There was a moment where I was like, surely she's not gonna, and she did. And what did I expect? Holly Jackson is brutal. She's like, oh, what's the most heartbreaking thing that you think could happen? I'm gonna do it. And she did. It's terrifying, terrifying. I think what was not winning me over so much at the beginning is that it just kind of seemed like a really generic kind of like, you know, horror, thriller, kind of like, yeah, whatever. Like we've seen a lot of that sort of stuff before. But now it's like every single one of the characters has a secret, and now we're kind of getting to know what those secrets are. I don't know. Okay, so it's split up into like hours, right? I'm currently in 4 a.m. and every hour like something happens that just shooks me to my core, and I'm obsessed with it. Wow, really, really, really enjoying this. Do I love it more than A Good Girl's Guide to Murder? No, because I don't like love the characters. And oh my god, Oliver! My hatred for that man. Like, yeah, I hated people in A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, but like my hatred for Oliver, and he's like one of the main characters. Oh my god, I hate him. I hate him so much. He's giving a little bit too villainous. He's just too cartoony of a villain. Like, he's just too unlikable to a point where I think it's unrealistic. But like, I hate him so much. The reason that I think I like the Good Girls Guide to Murder series more is just because I like the characters more. Whereas the characters in here, I'm like, they're okay. You know, they're alright. But like the actual thriller mystery of it all, I'm really, really loving. So I have about 115 pages left, so I think I can definitely finish that very, very easily. However, I'm gonna have a shower because I need one. It's a beautiful rainy day though. It's so beautiful, so I'm gonna stay inside all day, but I'm just gonna have a shower and wash my hair because it's definitely like feeling like it needs to be washed for sure. And then I'm going to continue this novel, and I'm very, very excited to do so. Basically, this video is gonna be me being not attractive for most of it, but you guys know the real me. I'm a personality queen. I'm gonna finish this book and then I'm gonna have my shower, so I'm gonna go finish this. Oh my god, this is a bit much. Okay guys, I finished 5 Survive. Amongst all of that weather drama, I finished it. I think I'm gonna give it 4 stars. It was still really good. The ending kind of underwhelming. I feel like the ending just happened really, really fast. Like all of a sudden it was over, and I feel like I'm not as satisfied as I would have liked with the ending, but it was still such a fun read. I'm really, really glad I read it, so I think 4 stars is definitely appropriate and representative of the enjoyment that I had when reading it. So really happy to have finished this. I am gonna have a shower now, I think, because it's absolutely freezing. It's so, so, so cold. So I think I'm gonna have a shower, and then I will probably move on to What Moves the Dead by T. King Fisher. This is only 170 pages. I don't actually know if I want to read this. I'm kind of in the mood for another thriller. Maybe, hang on, books being used as a tripod. Maybe I will read The Perfect Sun instead. I don't feel like I'm in the mood for like a weird horror. I think I am in the mood for a thriller. So I think, yeah, never mind. Scratch everything I said. Once I get out of the shower, I'll be reading The Perfect Sun by Frida McFadden, and I feel like that will be fun and cozy. Maybe not fun. It looks really scary. But Frida McFadden writes such bingeable thrillers. So yeah, I'll start with this after my shower. So don't know what that was, but I'll see you then. I have not been crying, and I get a really red nose when I've been crying, so I've not been crying, but look how red my nose is. That is how cold it is right now. It's so cold that my nose is this red. What on earth is happening, New Zealand? What's the story? Anyway, speaking of stories, The Perfect Sun. I am on to page 146, and it's just classic Frida McFadden. It's classic Frida McFadden. Like, plot twist to every turn, so gripping. Like, I'm once again annoyed that I have to stop reading to talk to you guys. No offense. No offense. That's why it's like 7 o'clock and I'm still only read like 1.5 books. But I also did have to do work with the puppy because Ben had work today, so I had to spend a lot of time with Zuko, because that's just where my priority lies at the moment. Like, while he's in training, my priority is just like him, you know. But anyway, I'm on page 146, and I thought that this was going to be about a scary child. It's actually about a scary teenage boy, and somehow that's worse because that's more realistic. Teenage boys are awful. But basically we follow a few different perspectives. We have our main character Erica, who is the mother of the teenage boy called Liam. And Erica is like, I know that my son is capable of some bad stuff, but she's still like, I would still do anything to protect him. And then we also follow the character Olivia. We follow her perspective, and she is a girl that goes missing. It's literally mentioned in the first chapter, and we've had her perspective, but now we no longer have her perspective because she is missing. That plot point has happened, and Erica is convinced that her son has something to do with it. It is honestly horrifying and really, really sad, because when we're in Olivia's perspective, she's a 16-year-old girl, but she reads kind of like much younger than that. Like, I think she is a very young, kind of naive teenager, and she talks about like how embarrassing it is that her bedroom has been the same as it was since she was a kid, and there's like posters on her wall of like kittens and puppies and stuff, and I'm like, please God, nothing happened to this girl. Like, it makes me sad, and now that she's missing, I'm just like, please let her be safe. Please just, I don't know what the situation is. Like, I don't want anything bad to happen to her, but she's currently missing and I have no idea what's gonna happen. It's actually terrifying, but honestly just so addicting. So addicting. Like, can I say that Freida McFadden is the best writer in the world? Absolutely not. Like, her writing is very basic, it is what it is, but it's gripping. I don't know where the story is going. I have no idea what to expect. We've just had another major plot twist, which has put a serious spanner in the works, and I'm loving it. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys, I'm absolutely loving it. So I'm gonna keep reading right now. I have my Diet Coke. Yes, I'm drinking a cold drink when it is this cold. Look at my nose. I can't get over my nose. I can't get over it. Anyway, I'm gonna keep reading. Loving it. Live, love, laugh. Thrillers. I love them. I love them. They're our favorite genre right now, honestly. Hello guys. It's like 9:30. Oh my god, this vlog is terrible. I cannot remember when I last updated. Maybe when Ben got home, I'm not sure. It's like 9:30. Anyway, I finished The Perfect Son. I'm really sorry for not vlogging, but I could not put it down. My heart was racing the entire time. I really enjoyed this. It is so not what I expected. I thought we were going to be dealing with a scary child, and it was definitely not that. It was a lot more like high schooly than I thought, but I just loved being in the mind of everyone. It was certainly predictable, but I think it was predictable in a way where I'm like it is a murder mystery at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? It's like a girl goes missing, who's the culprit? Everyone thinks that it's the son, and it was one of those things where like I wasn't trying to figure out who it was. Like, I wasn't trying to, I don't know, pinpoint who the killer was, but I was like, it's got to be someone. So like I wasn't sure, but when like, you know, the plot twist happened, I was like, I mean, yeah, that makes sense, you know, because there was only like a small handful of people that it could be for the book to make sense. But I really, really liked it. Such a fast-paced book. I just love Freida McFadden. I genuinely love her so much. I just feel like her books are just so fast-paced. I want to own her entire backlist. Like, I think this is my 6th or 7th book that I've read by her all this year, by the way. Like, probably my most read author of this entire year. Yeah, this is like my 6th or 7th, and it's like I just want to read every single one that she releases now. Like, they are so much fun, and I really, really, really enjoy them. So I'm incredibly happy with how this went. I've had 2 4-star reads so far in this current 24 hours. Not 24-hour readathon, just random day in my life of reading thrillers. Hopefully we keep it up and maybe even get a 5-star with my next book, which is going to be The Last Housewife by Ashley Winstead. I really need to start reading this because it is my Patreon book club book. I have the live show in 2 days. I need to make a start on this one. I had very high expectations because I just absolutely loved In My Dreams I Hold a Knife, and Ashley Winstead actually has another book coming out later in the year, which I think sounds really, really good as well. Anyway, like I said, it's like 9:30 at night. Oh, it's nearly 10. It's nearly 10. I'm gonna make a cup of tea and just get really, really cozy for these last couple of hours and try and read as much of this as possible so I can conclude this reading vlog. I will probably conclude it tomorrow morning, but if I'm still awake at midnight and like awake enough to conclude it, I will conclude it then. But I'm gonna keep you updated with how I feel about this. Let's manifest just more goodness for me. I'm so happy with how this has gone. Hello everyone, it's now been a couple of days and I did finish The Last Housewife. I did really need to rush through this for my Patreon book club. We had the live show earlier today and that was really enjoyable. But yeah, I guess this concludes the video. I'm really sorry. I really did set out to do a 24-hour readathon. Realized that was a fail, but I was like, I still want to spend a cozy day reading. So at least I still read 3 books in this video for you guys. But yeah, my thoughts on The Last Housewife. I had a really interesting time with this. This one I thought was going to be my top pick, right, for this video. And I ended up giving it 3 stars. I've spent so much time talking about this today and over the past couple of days. And I just think for me, some of the content in here was a little bit much. It just made me feel very, very uncomfortable. And I think at the end of the day, that is what the book set out to do. I do genuinely believe you were supposed to feel very, very uncomfortable reading it. It's supposed to make, the reader question their own feminism, what feminism means to them, what their role is in society, the men around them, whether or not they are good people. It does make you question a lot, and I think, it was very, very dark, and it's meant to be very dark, and it's meant to be uncomfortable. But I personally, and this is a very, very subjective opinion, I personally felt like some of the violence and the way it was described was just a little bit gratuitous. Everyone's got different boundaries. I do acknowledge that, and I could just be being quite sensitive right now, but for me, I just felt some of the ways things were described to just be not my favorite. I felt was that necessary? And yeah, I also don't love that one of the main characters in here, who's a bit of a savior for the woman, is a man. I feel like it kind of defeated the purpose of some of the novel. I feel yeah, maybe that was intentional, and that is its own message in itself, but I was just a little bit don't know about that. But I still, I think it's a really important book. I think it has a very impactful message, and just because I felt a certain way about it doesn't mean that other people are going to share the same opinions or have had the same experience, and that's absolutely fine. So I did end up giving it 3 stars. I gave it 2 stars, and then we had our live show discussion with my patrons, and then I ended up upping it to 3 because some really, really good points were made, but I don't think I could up it further than 3 just because of my experience reading it. A lot of the time I will rate my reading experience as opposed to the book from an objective standpoint, because was this the most well-written book out of these 2? Yes, this one was far better written than these 2 were from an objective standpoint, but subjectively, in terms of my reading experience, I had a far better time with these 2 than I did with this one, if that makes sense. Anyway, that's kind of how I rate books, I guess, is just, I will rate the reading experience as opposed to the prose and the character development and all that sort of stuff, which I think goes hand in hand with the reading experience. But yeah, sometimes I just rate with my heart as opposed to with my head. Anyway, that concludes this video. Thank you so much for watching. I know it was a bit of a random one, not my usual content. Actually, maybe it is. I feel like my content is quite messy, because I'm kind of a messy queen. I'm not an organized queen. I'm not an aesthetic queen. I'm not a looks queen, as we discussed, although right now. Anyways, I really hope you enjoyed. Let's do a quick wrap up. Over the 24-hour period, I read 5 Survive by Holly Jackson, which I gave 4 stars. The Perfect Son by Frida McFadden, which I also gave 4 stars. And this was longer than the 24-hour period, more like the 48-hour period, but The Last Housewife by Ashley Winstead, which I gave 3 stars. So all in all, I would say a pretty successful past couple of days. Nothing that I hated, nothing that I would die for, but still really enjoyed my time, reading thrillers for the past couple of days. Yeah, anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you had a really good time watching this video. Please let me know your thoughts on all these books down below, and of course a cheeky reminder that all my socials are linked in the description box, as well as my Patreon. So if you do want extra content from me, all of the benefits and perks, they're all on the page, so check that out if you want to see more of my face. Anyway, I love you all so much. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you very soon in the next video. Bye.